Today I'm going to show you how to make sun-dried tomatoes. Now you might ask, why don't you go down to your closest supermarket and buy them there? Well, for a start, they cost $22 a kilo, which is fairly expensive. So by making them yourselves, you're saving a considerable amount of money. And secondly, when there are a lot of tomatoes, a lot of tomatoes grown in your garden, you can make them and then preserve them for the other seasons when there's not a lot of tomatoes. Okay, now I'll show you what we do. We have our freshly picked tomatoes that you've washed. Cut them in half, just like that. Scoop out the seeds, right, and the pulp. Scoop them out like that, and then place your tomatoes in a tray that's going to go into the oven. The oven will have to be preheated to 75 degrees Celsius because that's the temperature that's going to be used to dry the tomatoes, and it will take about 8 hours in the oven at 75 degrees Celsius to dry them out. Now for each tomato we get some fresh oregano, or it could be basil if you have basil, depends what the season are, and we place a leaf of the basil or the oregano on top of each tomato. Now once that is done, you get some nice fresh rock salt and you sprinkle that onto each tomato. Okay, now that that's ready, we can put that in our oven that's been preheated. Now I'll show you how to make the preserve that the tomatoes are going to go into once they're dried. Okay, you need a preserving jar of some sort with olive oil in it. Okay, now what we're going to do is season it with oregano. Put some oregano leaves in there. Okay, just put your oregano all in there. And now you need garlic. Crush it nicely and put that in there. Now that'll become our preserve for when the tomatoes are ready. Here's some that we've prepared earlier. And now we'll put them into our preserving jar. So this is our preserving jar with the oil, the garlic and the oregano. And we just place them all in there. Seal the jar up nicely. Beautiful sun-dried tomatoes that are really tasty.